I'm here outside Flagstaff City Hall to discuss new policies with Mayor-elect Becky Daggett, just 2 weeks before she's to be sworn in as new Mayor of Flagstaff. Congratulations are in order. How do you feel being the new Mayor-elect of Flagstaff?
Well, I'm so excited. I'm excited to get back onto council and to get back to work on all of the pressing issues that the city's facing.
Amazing. And what policies do you see as the most important to address as soon as you come into office?
Two of my top issues are affordable housing and climate action. And as your viewers know, Proposition 442 was passed by Flagstaff voters in this last election, and that will give us $20 million to do affordable housing projects with. So I'm already scheduling time with city staff to sit down and help me see where they're planning to go with getting these projects done and seeing where I can help. And I also have meetings scheduled with sustainability staff to talk about our climate action goals and how I can help get those moving forward.
Awesome. And what is the biggest goal for sustainability in Flagstaff right now?
We have a carbon neutrality plan which anticipates that we'll be carbon neutral by the year 2030, which of course is a very ambitious goal. So it lays out several strategies for doing that, including electrifying all of the city municipal power sources. So that's going to be one of our top issues that we're working on.
As an alum of NAU yourself, how do you plan to maintain the relationship between the city of Flagstaff and the school?
Well, I have great working relationships with faculty and staff, and I was so delighted to get an email from Dr. Cruz Rivera after I won the election. And I'm looking forward to pretty consistent or pretty regular meetings with him and his staff, and doing everything that I can to strengthen the relationship and help both of us meet our future goals.
And kind of going into that, how do you plan to help with the housing crisis that students are facing?
Well, affordable housing is one of the top, it was the top issue for me as I was campaigning, and it's definitely top of mind for Flagstaff voters. And so the housing crunch is being felt across the board, from students to our lower wage workers, all the way through even upper wage workers are having trouble finding either homes to buy or rent that isn't increasing exponentially. So the city's 10-year housing plan, which I was a part of developing, lays out 48 strategies for achieving affordable housing. And this bond, for Proposition 442, was just one of them. So getting those projects started is going to be very important, as well as getting going on some of the other strategies that were laid out in the plan.
Now, can you go a little bit more in depth about Proposition 442, like what it covers?
Sure. There were two propositions on the November ballot, and Proposition 442 was totally affordable housing. And with the money that we'll have available to the city through it, we'll be able to redevelop city-owned housing. So all of the public housing, some of it was built in the 40s and the 50s. So we'll be able to redevelop it. We'll be able to make it denser and add additional units. We'll also have money available to partner on projects like renovating an existing building in Flagstaff into affordable housing, as well as partnering on other projects with nonprofit partners, for-profit partners, just having that money available to be able to participate. We also have additional money for home buyer assistance. We already have a home buyer assistance program, and this will give us $7 million more in that program to help people purchase homes. And all of this, all of these funds are revolving funds. So they'll continue to come back to the city and continue to be reinvested back into the community.
That is so cool. I really like the idea of repurposing what we already have here in Flagstaff and just kind of giving new life to old homes.
Yes.
Why do you think you appealed to your voters more than your opponent?
Well, I have, a couple of decades worth of experience in Flagstaff and in the state of Arizona. I have, several pretty big accomplishments under my belt, and I've just been active in the Flagstaff community, and people know me. And on city council, I was also very responsive to anyone writing into council, and I think they saw me as someone who will get things done and will be able to form partnerships and have a better working relationship with the city council, and I'm looking forward to proving them right.
Awesome. Now, but besides being mayor, of course, what do you see as one of your most proudest achievements that you mentioned?
So one of the biggest achievements that I've been a part of are a couple of campaigns to purchase open space lands around Flagstaff and in Flagstaff, as well as lands to enable us to complete more of our Flagstaff urban trail system. And that's some $50 million invested in protecting open space and in building trails, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Oh, I can't imagine. That is so cool. So as mayor, how do you plan to connect with your community even more?
I am hoping to, or I'm planning to have office hours off-site where people can drop in and talk to me, and maybe it'll be at the public libraries. I don't know, but I'm besides trying to be at as many public events as I can, I really want to leave space and time for people to come and sit down with me and talk to me about what concerns they have.
Of course. And what led you to making that decision?
I think that interacting with the city council can be, if you don't know how the meetings are structured, how they work, if you don't know the process of decision making in the city, it can seem intimidating, and I'd like to help make it not intimidating, where it's a person sitting down with me, a person, a fellow citizen talking about issues that we're all facing.
Right. Besides connecting with your community in that sort of way and the policies that you want to put in, what do you think the main job as a mayor is?
To represent the city. I will be representing the city both within and outside of the city with the Arizona legislature and with our elected representatives in Washington. Representing the city in important meetings with federal agencies that we are working with, trying to get projects like the Rio de Flag flood control project completed, and that person out in the community, bringing the community's concerns back to the city and helping us to address those concerns.
So how do you plan to combat the criticism that you'll face as mayor?
Any person in public office has to be able to focus on the reasons why they're serving in that office and to not take personally criticism that they receive. You need to listen because there might be something that you can learn from it, but you also need to keep your focus on serving the community, and if you get too caught up in criticism that isn't allowing you to help the city move forward, it's kind of extraneous noise, and I think mostly you just have to have a thick skin.
Mm-hmm. So now that you've been given the reins and you've been given control with, of course, the help of the City Council, what do you plan to do with DC's policies like the CARE team?
The CARE team is a City Council policy, and I was on the committee that helped to create the CARE team. I'd like to see us expand it. Actually, I'd like to see us talking to people on the ground who have experience with it and see where it needs to be tweaked, and then see how we can expand it, expand the hours, expand the number of care teams that are available throughout the day. It's a program that I think is worth expanding.
I agree. How has it been received by the community members?
I have heard nothing but positives. I've spoken to members of the fire department, I've spoken to members of the police department, and I've spoken to some of our service providers, nonprofit service providers in town, and everything that I'm hearing is positive. And that's not to say that there isn't room for making some tweaks, as I said, but overall it's been received in a very positive light.
Is there anything that I failed to mention that you would like to be known?
I'm excited to get back to work with my colleagues on the City Council, and I'm also excited to work with the new members of the City Council who weren't here when I was here. I think that we're going to have a strong council with some strong perspectives, and I look forward to learning from all of them.
What do you want the relationship to be between you as mayor and the City Council?
It has to be one of mutual trust and respect, and I will do everything that I can to make sure that we have trust and respect. And that does not mean that I expect everyone to agree all of the time. In fact, I welcome those different perspectives because I think it helps make the final product even better. But I will work as hard as I can to have mutual trust and respect.
How did your time as a City Council member influence that mindset?
The best city councils, all of the decision making is based on that mutual trust and respect. And without it, it's difficult to make difficult decisions. And the City Council has difficult decisions that it makes every week. And we need to trust each other and we need to respect each other. So I plan on meeting with members of council as often as I can, getting to know them on a personal level, getting to know what their priorities are, and just, really studying the City Council and how we can best work together.
Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thank you.